Alright, good morning everybody. It is Friday, March 6th, 2026. You look over my shoulder and out that passenger window, we've got another gray day today. Talk more about the weather later, but it's gray, 37, and I don't think we're going to see any sun today. But we still got to pre-trip the truck. I got the cameras set up, and we got to finish our pre-trip, and then we're going to get rolling. As of right now, it's 3 red barns down to Fogelsville. So we'll talk to you once we get going. All right, so we are making our way up the road to the red barn, and it's nice to know and nice to see that what's to the right of us is actually a cornfield. For the longest time, there was so much snow there, you couldn't see the corn stalks, so you didn't know what kind of field it was. So as you can see, about 98% of the snow melted. Just some residual piles, places where the wind had drifted it a little deeper than other places, but by and large, it's all gone. The only problem was the warm-up was not quite as advertised. Monday and Tuesday were always going to be cold, and we had a little bit of freezing rain, but then Wednesday was supposed to moderate, and yesterday was supposed to be in the 50s, today was supposed to be in the 60s. What we ended up with was nothing more than low 40s Wednesday, Thursday, and even today. Cold air damming is the problem there. Out in Pittsburgh, it's supposed to be in the 70s. At least the 60s, but the eastern half of the state is supposed to be continued cold and dreary looking and everything else. So, and only 52 tomorrow, and then like 57 on Sunday, and then next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe in the 60s, and then after that, a cold front comes through and we cool back down again. And somebody getting a concrete delivery here, the way it looks. Oh boy, did he sink into that yard. Woohoo, the ground is soft right now. We had a lot of rain last night. I'll tell you more about that after we see who's here and get hooked up and stuff. All right, so here we are loading. We're the only ones here. Nobody was here, as you saw. So we're loading up as we speak, and you see my breath. It's cold out. It's only 38 degrees. And they don't want it to go much warmer than that today, maybe only 42, 43. I don't know what it'll be down Allentown, maybe 45, but still only in the 40s. Now out in Pittsburgh, like I said today, probably going to be in the mid to upper 60s. There's a phenomenon here in the Northeast that's called cold air damming. And when warm air comes from the southwest, it sometimes can't get over the Appalachian mountain chain, and the warm air gets trapped out there, the cold air gets trapped in here. Up above us it's warm, that's why it's overcast and murky, but down at ground level it's only going to be in the 40s. And, it's frustrating for somebody like me when the western third of the state is in the 60s and 70s and we're stuck in the 30s and 40s. I kind of hate that. But not much you can do about it. But like I said, tomorrow only going to be 52, and this weekend they were talking about flirting with 70, and the forecast the warmth backed off and got diminished and got shortened, and it's been the story of this whole winter is any potential warm spells have been muted and delayed and sometimes denied, and I don't know what's going on. Now they're talking about another sudden stratospheric warming event and another polar vortex disruption that the last half of March is going to be wintry, and I don't know. I'm hoping that's wrong, but that part of the forecast they usually seem to get right. They can't get right whether we're going to get rain or snow 3 days from now, but long-term patterns they can seem to get pretty much right. So I have no doubts that from March 15th through the end of March and into maybe April is probably going to be below normal, and might even see some snow chances, and I'm hoping not, but I have a feeling that's a good likelihood. But anyway, loading up here. Once we're done, you know the routine. We'll show you some scenes along the way down. The creeks are up. We got 1.25 inches of rain last night, so they're up and they're muddy. So I'll show you that going down 100, and we'll see what we're going to encounter when we get to the plant. All right, coming down the bottom of the blue here, and well, the roads are still wet. If they start to dry out today, you're going to see one thing that came out of this heavy rain we had last night is it totally cleaned all the salt residue off the roads and even pushed the stones further onto the shoulder, the cinders, because when they throw salt, they also, it's a mix. It's not 100% salt. It's also some cinders or number one stone or something like that, traction material. So that rain was a good rain, and that's another reason why I hope we don't see another snowflake this winter, is get these roads cleaned off again. I don't want to put any more salt back down on them. Actually, if we could get done early enough today and the roads start drying out, I would love to wash this truck. I mean, give it a good absolute brush washing and really clean her up, get her clean. I've rinsed her off a few times with the pressure washer, but that's not a true wash. That's just rinsing the salt and crap off them. I'd like to give it a good brush wash and really pretty her up, but you know, I don't think we're going to get done in time, because I talked to one of the drivers, and as of right now the plant is slow, so I think our 3 loads is going to take most of the day. So we'll see how it goes. Like I said, I'd love to give her a wash, but anyway, we're making our way down, and when we get down there 100, I'll show you the Jordan Creek. No more ice in it, but it's probably up and flowing pretty strong. All right, down here on 100, just crossing the Jordan Creek here, and well, it's not as muddy as the creek by our shop, but it is discolored a little bit. I kind of thought that it would be muddy, and it is. Like I said, it's discolored, but I don't know how high it is. I didn't get a good look at it at the crossing. We'll get a look here. Yeah, she's up there pretty good. Not anywhere near a flood stage or anything like that, but yeah, she's up. That 1.5 inches of rain that came pretty quick last night on top of pretty saturated ground, because we've been slow melting the snow for the past couple weeks. And I probably believe that if you dug down 1 foot to 1.5 foot, the ground is probably still frozen because of how cold it's been this winter, and probably a lot of it just ran off. It only was able to soak into a certain point, and then it became runoff. All right, so we are down here in Fogelsville, and no sooner did I get to Tillman Street did it start a misty drizzle. It was dry coming into work, it was dry loading, it was dry coming all the way down off the mountain, down 100, got to Tillman Street, and now we got a misty drizzle. I swear there's like 3 water plants down here. I swear they are a water magnet that draw and attract rain. Because boy, if it rain anywhere, this is one place where it'll rain. I don't really truly believe that. I'm being more facetious than anything, but it just seems like for some reason it can be dry everywhere else, but it will rain down here in Fogelsville. And just like now we've got this misty drizzle. All right, so I actually could have left the camera on because we're here already. It's weird. The closer we get to the plant, the more pronounced the misty drizzle is, so the harder it's becoming. And if we gotta sit down here, I don't mind it. You know, we can stand outside and BS the drivers among ourselves, and you know, but when it's raining like this, everybody just sits in their trucks, and then it becomes boring. So I don't know. Looks like there's 4 trucks here. There's only 1 parked off to the side, and we'll be parked over there with him. But 3 on the pad, probably 1 at a time, if not a gap between trucks. We'll see. Go down here, turn around, and park, I guess. Turn around somewhere. to come down here. That way we can set up and then park next to our one truck. And he'll be next, so I'll park on his right side. That way he has an easy out. Anyway, pretty much everybody is sitting in their truck, but I'll have to get out and walk over there and check in. Well, back in and see how long it's gonna take. So we are backed on the pad and hooked up, but we can't unload just yet. I gotta wait for the guy that's unloading right now, and then I gotta wait for the guy to my right that I parked next to over there on the side to unload. So I'm third in line to unload. One unloading right now, then another one will unload, and then it'll be my turn. So we're gonna be here a little while, so we'll talk to you after these guys leave and when it's my turn. Alright, so like I said, we were gonna probably all sit in our trucks. It's just kind of too cold and damp and miserable to stand outside and have a nice driver BS session. So one's unloading, like I told you, one's waiting, and I'm waiting, but we're all sitting in our trucks where it's a little bit warmer and drier. If it were sunny out, we'd all be outside BSing, but just not a nice day to do that. Of course, if we were out in Pittsburgh, we would. I'm going to check the temperature in a minute and talk to you guys about it once I start unloading. No doubt it's probably, if it's not already in the 60s out there, it will be. Like I said, half the state going to be mild and warm, and half the state going to be cold and damp. So, but once we start unloading, we'll talk to you. I'll tell you about how long we sat here. Probably going to be an hour at least. So that's that. And I'm just going to kick back, relax till it's our turn to unload. All right, so we're empty. And we're rolling on out of here, go up there and get load number 2. We were here an hour and a half, and it actually got better while I was sitting here. It went from 1 at a time to 2 at a time, so they must be running some water. We'll see what happens when I come back, as long as there isn't a wave of afternoon shift trucks that come in here. We should be able to probably unload. Might be a little bit of a wait, but we shouldn't be in too bad a shape as long as they're running water. The first morning guys I heard were here for 3 hours. So went from 3 hours to only an hour and a half. So it did get better. But boy, is it just cold and damp and raw. It is only 38 degrees here, and I did check. I looked at the statewide temperatures, and out in Pittsburgh it's 62, and here it's 38. So just a nasty, raw, cloudy, damp, miserable day. So not the warm-up I was expecting, not the warm-up that they were originally forecasting earlier in the week. The winter that won't quit. I mean, it's not cold enough to snow. It's not that kind of cold, but it's not a comfortable, nice day out. It's still a winter type day. All right, so the green light came quick, and I wanted to show you this because I mentioned it on the way down about the runoff running out of that farm field to the left and coming down here right across 309 here, as you can see. The road is dry, but it's running off there pretty good. And whenever we get a heavier rain and the ground is saturated, that's what happens. It doesn't happen quite so much once he's got a crop planted in there, but you got nothing planted in there, and it's bare ground. And like I said, that pond there to our right is still frozen, which begs the question of how thick was that ice at the peak of our cold weather if it's still frozen at this point in time. But yeah, the ground, I have no doubt that if you were to dig down a foot, you would probably find frost. If maybe not even that deep, I don't know, because it was just that cold of a winter. I bet those ponds had between 6 and 12 inches of ice on them at the peak of the cold snap, because none of the ponds have really thawed out yet, and we haven't been super warm. I mean, I told you these warm-ups have been kind of muted, but they're, warm enough to melt off 95+% of the snow. So it's been warm, but those ponds, they're still frozen over. I don't know that I'd walk on them at this point in time anymore, but they're still frozen over. All right, so we're here loading up the second one. When I got here, there was a guy here loading, but he was just finishing up. I walked in the door and his pump had just shut off, so the way it's set up is we can both hook up. I just have to wait until he's done, and he was done right when I walked in the door, so I was able to start my pump right away before he ever left. So we're loading the second one up. No delays on this end. I don't know what it's going to be like when we get back down there. Told him what the situation was down there so that he was aware of it and wasn't caught off guard. Not that it matters. I mean, it's going to be what it's going to be, but sometimes it's just nice to know ahead of time what you're heading down to. And it wasn't all that bad. Like I said, it was only an hour and a half that I sat down there, so that was better than some other days. So no complaints. I don't really complain about sitting down there. It is what it is. It's much better than some of the wait times I had when I hauled freight and when I pulled reefer trailers. So it doesn't bother me a bit if we have to wait a little bit to unload. So, but anyway, we're loading up here, and I'm going to go inside the well owners here. I'm going to go talk to him a little bit, and then we'll button her up and talk to you back on the way down. All right. They're doing some serious concrete work at that gray house across from the red barn, because that's the second concrete truck that was up here delivering. I think they might be concreting the basement. I mean, I don't know what else they would be concreting, because they had the chute going in the door. I'm glad he got going ahead of me. He just did his washout over there at the other barn. I'm glad he went ahead of me, because he doesn't have to adhere to this stupid 15-mile-an-hour speed restriction that we have to coming through here. It only applies to us. It doesn't apply to anybody else. The speed limit on this road is 25, as I've told you before, but we are required to do 15 miles an hour through here. And believe me, we are watched, and if anybody is rolling through here at 25, there is usually a phone call that is made. So we got to really behave ourselves. And I follow the rules because it's just a way to keep peace with the neighbors, but I think it's a little absurd, and so do the people that come up behind us. See, right here's the speed limit 25 sign. But we got to do 10 miles an hour slower than that, and anybody that's not aware of the rules that we have to follow gets really torqued up. You can see them back there behind us, and I've had people pass me on here numerous times. In fact, one time I think I caught it on camera when the guy passed me right down here at the bottom just before it dumps out on the 309. So it creates a dangerous situation in a sense, or a hazardous situation. I wouldn't necessarily say dangerous, but it creates a hazardous situation that we're going so slow through here. But it is what it is. And that's that on that. But we're coming down here to our favorite little intersection. Put the four ways on first, and I put the right turn signal on, and when the right turn signal cancels out, the four ways are automatically on. There's one van coming up. Glad I saw him. But the problem is now, what looks to be clear behind him may not be once I get moving. but it was. This time of day it is 12:40. This time of day it is not usually too bad getting out of there. And 4 in the afternoon, 7 in the morning is a different story. Both those times are kind of the rush hour times, and while rush hour up here is not what rush hour is down below, there's still more traffic on this road at that time, and then a little dicier getting out of there at those times. But we're doing it. We are climbing the hill, heading down there to see what we're going to have for the next unload process. And the one driver that was down there on the first load just called me to find out if it was getting any better. So the only thing I could tell him was that it went to 2 at a time while I was down there. I don't know what it is now because I'm at the opposite end. He's going to give me a ring a little bit later on and find out what he needs to do, because he went out for a tank wash and then he has more water to do after he swaps the tank out. So, all right. So we have managed to time these out to where we got the first 3 lights green so far. We've had to slow down for them, but we've not had to come to a complete stop. And it looks like this one is going to turn green before we get there as well. Yep, it did. Now, if XBO gets moving pretty decently, we'll be able to kind of hold our speed right here and keep on keeping on right through this little intersection here. Now, sometimes when you get them green up this way, you can manage to get them green all the way down to Industrial Road. Let us see how we do now that first light up there at Penn Drive by Yakko's where we come out, that is green right now. That's going to be a stale green, so I don't know if we're going to hold that one or if it's going to turn red on us. It is so nice when you can come through here and roll every light green. I mean, you don't have to speed through here. I'm not even doing the speed limit right now. I'm only doing 40. I think the speed limit's 45. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's 45. And it's nice when you can just roll every light green, but I don't think that we are going to get this one green. Nope. Not this one. But we did pretty good. We got both lights there at Weiss Market green, got Tillman green, got the ramp green, got Penn Drive green. Now Shantz Road here we have to stop and wait for, but not too bad. Alright, so it's going to be our turn to move over on the pad here shortly. Guy's done, he'll be leaving shortly, and we can move from this staging area over and get on the pad and wait our turn, because it's still one at a time to unload. But at least we can get on the pad, get hooked up, get set up, go. Alright, there he goes. Our turn to move from staging to pre-unload, I guess you could call it. Because like I said, it is one at a time, and the guy, whoa, come on, come on. I think he would have come out of that little blind spot a little bit slower than what he did. Holy moly. A little delivery van. Delivering back there at the steps up into the doorway. And he just come blasting out of there, and he didn't know if anybody was coming or not. Luckily, he wasn't any quicker, or I wasn't any quicker, or we would have met by accident. The guy's getting ready. What I was saying to you is the guy that was at the Red Barn is now here. He's unloading, so we're gonna have to wait on him. But he's prepping the hose back there for me. He's one of our good guys. He's a part-timer that comes out on Fridays and Saturdays, and he's one of the good guys, and he's prepping the hose to help me hook up, which is very nice of him, and we do that for each other. So anyway, I am backing onto the pad. He's actually going to tell me when to stop. We're in, and we'll talk to you in a little while. Alright, so we got the place all to ourselves now. That other guy left, he's done. We're unloading right now. It's 20 minutes, we'll be out of here. 2 o'clock we should roll. It's 1:40 right now. And we go up and get that last one. We may or may not get up there right when he's finishing up again, because he's going back to the same well that he was at and that I was at. So we may get up there just about the time he's buttoning her up again, which is not a problem at all. And then we'll be down here again at the same time. And then this will be my last load. We're going to be heading up for number 3 when we leave here. And he's going up for his second one right now. So, and all kind of geese movement going on right now. I don't know if you can hear them. I can see them in the window of that door up there. A whole bunch of geese flying around. I don't know what they're doing. Actually, you might be able to see them over my head and over my shoulder. But they're moving around for some reason. But anyway, we're unloading here, and in a few minutes we're just going to go back and sit in the truck and wait till it's almost empty and then come back out, because it's, like I said, chilly out here today. All right, heading back for this last one, and we're about to go up into the clouds here on the Blue Mountain. Should have turned it on just a little bit sooner so you could see how it changed, but cloud deck is low enough that we're going to be in the fog up top here. Happens a lot when it's rainy, misty, chilly. Sometimes you get this in the summertime, but you get it more in the winter. And it's kind of borderline. The cloud deck is fairly high, but it has been lowering all day. Each time I come up here, the fog is a little bit lower. So the ceiling, as they call it in the aviation industry, is rather low in the valley today. Actually, all of eastern Pennsylvania. So as you climb up the mountain, you go up into the clouds, and we'll come down the other side, and we will come out of the clouds. Kind of like an airplane taking off from an airport. Kind of clear skies down on the ground, and you get up to a certain flight level, you go up into the clouds, and then before you know it, then you're above the clouds and you're looking at puffy cotton balls. Well, we don't get that here. This mountain ain't high enough. Where you might see that from time to time is on 84 in New York and Pennsylvania there at Port Jervis, right where the New York-Pennsylvania line is, where Delaware River runs through Port Jervis. Sometimes you can get above the fog, the ground fog, and it will look like you're in an airplane, and you'll be above it and see the puffy cotton balls. Kind of rare to have that on land, but it does happen sometimes, but not here. These mountains are nowhere near high enough to see that effect. But then now we're coming back out of it. We're coming back out of the clouds and dropping down off the north side of the Blue, the Schuylkill County side. So as you know, if we're on the Blue, we're almost to the well. I haven't seen the other guy yet, so he's probably still up here loading, and we may see him on the road coming out, or he may still actually be in there finishing up the loading process. Not sure exactly yet where he's at, but we will find out shortly. It looks like a tree fell across the road there. I wonder when that happened. It wasn't there when we went down with that last load. All right, so we're back. I told you we were close. Now, let's see if he's still here. He must be, because I didn't see him going down the mountain, and I didn't see him coming in, so he must still be here. Like I said, we're kind of on each other's heels right now. Yep, there he is. Is he done? Looks like he is done. So this time we will wait till he leaves. and then we will take our spot. There's no sense in pulling in front of them and trying to back around them. That's what I did last time. I wish I would have had the camera on. That I just kind of nosed up in front of them toward the stone pile and then blindside backed around them and right into where I needed to be. But I figured we let him leave first. And there he goes. And now we'll set up. I don't care much for that side. I like this side better. I don't know. We've all got our preference, I guess. It's what I'm used to. So, and nobody else is running right now but me and him, so I'm going to take the side I'm more comfortable using. Except that I jacked it just a little bit too hard there. There we go. There we go. Nice straight back. You got to get about 2 foot from the wall. Then we'll be right where the hose will reach. That looks good. Right there. All right, so let's hook her up. Brake seal. Spray with sanitizer. Spray the hose with sanitizer. Hook her up. Make sure the ears are nice and tight. Make sure the pin's in. We're good. And all you gotta do is go in and start her up. Alright, showing you that little hookup sequence was a last minute spur of the moment decision. I wasn't planning on doing that, and then I looked at the windowsill and thought that, hey, maybe I could prop the phone up and show you. So that's what I did, because I don't have my hat cam with me. And the other camera, as I told you, didn't like to work right when I disconnected it from its main unit. So I am being distracted by a few animals that are out of their pen right now. Alright, well, I'm zoomed in pretty hard on those guys, but when I was talking to you, that was what distracted me. Those 3 goats were chasing each other around. The bull is just standing there or sitting there grazing away, but those 3 goats were chasing each other around, and it distracted me while I was talking to you. And then I got a phone call as well. From our other driver wanting to know how things were at the plant. So, but yeah, those guys distracted me in my conversation with you. So, promised you I'd show them to you, and there they are. We're just about finished loading, so I gotta go. But we'll talk to you on the way down. All right, so we are back for the 3rd one. Let's see what we got down here. I see one on the pad. That's the guy that I've been following around since my 2nd load. And he may be the only one here right now. Yep, he's the only one here right now. So this actually turned out to be a pretty good day, and it looks like he might be done. I might just wait till he leaves, and I'll take that one, because that's the best of the pumps. That is the best of the pumps. The one he's on is the one that works the best. So until I flip around, he should be just about ready to go. Pump 3 and 4 are the 2 that work well. Pump 2 right now is not completely unloading most trucks. Most trucks get about 4,000 gallons off, and then it shuts down, and then you have problems, and most times you have to just move to another pump. But pump 4 is the best of them all. There hasn't really been, knock on wood, many problems with pump 4. That is the newest pump, so that could be why. So since he was done, we'll just take that one. Get ourselves back on and get this last one unloaded so that we can go home and enjoy the weekend. On the fence, still trying to wash this truck tonight, maybe. I don't know. It's cold out, but part of me wants to wash it because it's not filthy anymore because the salt's been rinsed off it, but it's still dirty. It needs a good brush bath, so we'll see. All right, we're in. I'll talk to you after we get hooked up. All right, so we're back on the pad and we're unloading as we speak. And it's funny because me and the other driver, we were reading each other's minds, because as soon as I seen that he was the only one here and that he was unhooking his hose, I had it in my mind that I was going to take the pad that he was on and the pump he was using. And after he had capped the hose, he saw me coming and he waved his arms and pointed like, take this one. So we were both on the same page, that being the better pump, that's the one I should go to. So we shouldn't have any problem, knock on wood, unloading this one, and then we'll be out of here, go up there, get our fuel, get our DEF. And like I told you guys, I'm kind of on the fence. I really want to wash this truck. And I might yet, I might not. I mean, I don't know. I don't think anybody's going to use it until Sunday night. And so it should sit in the lot over the weekend. They want a little rain Saturday night. And I mean, if it rains on the truck ain't going to get dirty. The only thing, it may splash a little bit of the mud onto the tires, but the truck itself will stay clean as long as nobody takes it out on Saturdays. I don't know what I want to do. I guess I should look at the forecast and see if anything changed with that. And I mean, it's a little bit on the chilly side, but I mean, I can wash the truck. I just don't know what I want to do. I mean, I do know what I want to do. I want to wash the truck, but it's a little bit cold, and we're going to get back there after 4 o'clock, 4:30, going on 5 o'clock, so I don't know yet. I won't film it if I do, but I may or may not. We will see. But anyway, we're going to go back, sit in the truck where it's a little bit warmer, and wait to unload, and then we'll get out of here and talk to you on the way back up somewhere. All right, folks. I originally was not going to get fuel because it looked like I had only used 1/8 of a tank. And I wasn't going to go in here for 20 gallons of fuel, but now all of a sudden, coming down off the mountain, she dropped down to 1/4. She magically dropped, not 1/4, but 3/4. She magically dropped down to 3/4. So while that may be enough to, boy, we ain't gonna do this. Well, maybe. Come on, bus. Come on, if you pull up just, well, we got it. We got it. Not by much, but we got it. What was I gonna say? Boy, he's got 15 feet between him and that pickup truck. Could have pulled up a little further and let me get in here a little easier. There's plenty of fuel for her to run on Sunday night, but I'm just gonna fill it up. If it was still at 7/8, I was not gonna fill it up, but now I'm gonna fill it up. Just because. It's weird how that works. All the way up from Fogelsville, all the way up over the top of the mountain, I was sitting at 7/8 and thought, nah, I don't really need to put fuel in here. And just like that, coming down the other side, it dropped. So, I don't know. But anyway, we're here. We're going to top it off, and it's full. And we'll go back and put DEF in it. All right, so we're back, we're parked, we found a spot. Friday nights can be difficult to find a spot. We found one, she's a little tight, but we got her in. I learned a trick on how to get these in here without worrying too much about hitting the other truck on either side of me, and that's to back up kind of close to the back of them, and then start cutting to the push the trailer to the left and try and line the trailer up, back it up over toward the other side of the parking lot and line it up, and then if you nail it just right, you should be able to pull it forward right in. I think I showed you guys that in a previous video, how I did that. So you know, rather than trying to make a right turn into these little stalls and worrying about dragging the trailer up over the one to my right, I do it the way I just described it, and it works out pretty good as long as I hit the mark and line it up pretty good, and I can just pull straight in, maybe push it back out, move it right or left a little bit, get it centered, and then I'm good. So, but I got me a spot. All I got to do now is go out there and, as my buddy Grebig would say, kick the lights and check the tires. So do a quick little walk around post trip, and then we'll be done for the week. So I guess we'll just talk to you next week, whatever day we do one, Monday, Tuesday, whenever. It depends on what my schedule looks like, which day is going to be the more interesting one. So, all right, y'all have a good weekend, which will be halfway done until you see this, but have a good weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.